She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Hey Barbie, Chloe, period I, period 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 period got my name up in your mouth, you don't know no better. Don't forget I'm from the south, yeah, I got them headers. You watching everything I do, studying all of my moves, what you could do, what I do. Period I, period period I, period period I, period period I, period. Hello, litigators and opinionators. Court is now in session. Hello, Diana Ortiz. Welcome to the live. Today, I want to get into something that I'm pretty sure a lot of us have experienced in our lives, and that is a fake friend who pretends and poses to be your friend, but in reality, they're really trying to take your place. And this story just really set with me, and I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I wanted to come on here and talk about it because I'm pretty sure a lot of you have been around someone who has pretended to be your friend, who dresses like you, wants to wear their hair like you, wants to do almost everything like you. And in some ways, it's flattering. It's like, oh, it's cool, like she admires me. But it's actually really something that demonstrates a person's jealousy. And so today I want to talk about this young lady here on the screen. And this story was really sad. And it just, for some reason, I couldn't stop watching videos about her, looking her up. And I wonder if any of you guys have heard about her. But her name is Valerie Ortiz. And she is only 23 years old. Very young lady, but she accomplished so much for her age. And so first I want to get into who she is and what tragically happened to her. So as I mentioned, she's 23 years old. She's an influencer who was fatally taken out of this world. And some people suspect that she was betrayed and set up by her friend. But she's best known for making aspirational beauty and lifestyle content online. She was also the owner of her own beauty salon called Blossom the Beauty Lounge. It was a budding salon in, I can't even say the name, y'all, Zapopan. Zapopan is a city located in western Mexico, state of Jalisco. So she's from Mexico, and she made a very strong impact on this world at such a young age. She had a successful salon. She would do hair, you name it, all the beauty treatment. She provided these services. And let's see here. The beauty parlor had self-care. She opened it up last year, August 2024. And I want to show you some photos of this, the front of the salon at least. And that would be pretty impressive for a 23-year-old girl to have, that much success at such a young age. So let's just look at the article that kind of shares a little bit about her, who she was, before we get into the story. So let's just talk a little bit about this article. So this article says that Valerie Marquez, she's an influencer who was fatally shot in Mexico. And the sad part is she was shot on live. She was shot in front of her viewers. The tragedy happened while she was talking to her viewers, so it's actually really sad. So she made a name for herself on social media in Mexico. Though the 23-year-old was best known for making aspirational beauty and lifestyle content online, she was also the owner of Blossom the Beauty Lounge, a budding salon in Mexico. The influencer was shot and unalived on May 13th at her salon by an unknown assailant while she was live streaming on TikTok. Claudia Bardo, the president of Mexico, confirmed an investigation into Marquez's death was underway, and telling a pool of reporters on May 15th press conference that the federal government authorities in Jalisco were actively working to find those responsible and uncover a motive. The beauty parlor, an avid proponent of self-care, was opened August 24 up until Marquez's murder. And here is a photo of the actual building where she had her salon. So that is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure her family and friends and everyone was very proud of her success at such a very young age, 23 years old. And that is shown on her. They actually have an Instagram about this salon. Let's see if we could actually get to that Instagram to show you a little bit more about the salon before we go more into the story. Let's see. So here is her Instagram for her salon. And take a look at the followers. She had 76,000 followers on her beauty salon Instagram page. That is really good. Some people will have a lot of followers on their regular page, but when it comes to some of their businesses, they don't, really do too well. But she does hair, she did nails, she did eyelashes, she did it all. It's like a one-stop shop. You can see here, here's a photo of some of the nails that she did. Let's see what the translation says here. It said, "What counts on the nail table?" So here, those are beautiful nails, actually. There's the hair, some photos of the hair, type of hair she did. The eyelashes look gorgeous. They look very natural. Like this is the before and this is the after of some of the services she provided. Those nails are like flawless. This young lady was very talented. Like this is like a haircut, gorgeous nails. My gosh, I would have wanted to get my nails done by her. Eyelashes of how she's done eyelashes, and another product of the nails. So she did pretty good for herself. Very successful young lady. So it's not surprising that she had people in her life who saw her, admired her, and they wanted to become her. So that is something that people are speculating, that there were some people that were jealous of her success. So from massages to hair extensions, Blossom the Beauty Lounge offered a range of services to clientele. Marquez also created content to promote her business, filming various videos of the customers and establishment since it opened. Let's see what this book says here. Okay, it's just the same thing. So yeah, she had content on there on her Instagram. We kind of went over that, what she posted about some of the customers. "There's no better treatment than a time you dedicate to yourself," was the slogan associated with Marquez's business. Here's what we know about Valerie. This is not a picture of her. I don't know why this random photo's there. Some of these articles have random things on there. So who was she? Okay, so Marquez was a model. She was an influencer and she was an entrepreneur. She originally was from Guadalajara, amassed a following from sharing beauty and lifestyle content on both Instagram and TikTok. But her winning Miss Rostro, a regional beauty pageant in 2021, is what kicked her career as an influencer into high gear. So she also did pageantry. So that's pretty cool that she becoming that Miss Rostro was one of the things that propelled her career after she won that beauty pageant. So what made her stand out from the crowded space was her authenticity, how close she was to her followers, with whom she shared personal experiences and advice. She also shared photos of her outfits, various travels, and from photo shoots on her personal Instagram account, which we'll look at her personal Instagram account as well, which has over 380,000 followers. So we'll look at her Instagram because the Instagram really kind of sheds light on who she is, and we'll be able to do that. Before we get there, though, Oh, this is just going to talk about what happened to her. So yeah, we can go to her Instagram now just to look at some of the um, views that she got and who she was, and what did she share on her online, because it really helps get a picture of who she was. So first thing you can see up front is they said she only had 380,000 followers, but you can see since this tragedy, her followers has rose now to 633,000 followers. So you can see from her photos here that she was very, very beautiful. So she's almost, to me, looks like a Barbie doll. Like that's how perfect her features were. This is like one of my favorite photos of her, actually. The makeup was flawless. And this person says here, "You were so young and beautiful. I'm so sorry. The world is so cruel and your light and life was stolen from you." But we're going to get into some of the people that she associated with, which could have possibly led to her tragedy. So this picture, to me, again, this is one of my favorites. You can see how flawless her makeup is. It just shows her piercing blue eyes. Here's another picture of her. You can see she was very tall, which explains her modeling background, and just very flawless in her looks. Her physique was absolutely sculpted to perfection, which you can see, like, look how tiny she was. My God, how do you get that tiny? I don't understand. But absolutely stunning young lady. Here's another picture of her. Vivian, everyone knows what you did. Oh, yeah, because her friend that she was close with was named Vivian. And people think that this close friend that she had, which we'll go into talking about, they think that this close friend set her up, and we'll go over why they think that. Here's another pretty picture of her. So she just, you know how Instagram is usually known for posting all the thirst trap photos and stuff like that on here. 23 years old. Can you believe it? Just 23. That's insane to me. She was so young. She is very tall. Like, I wonder if she's like about 6 feet, 6'1". She was a tall girl. And it's very scary when you shine so bright as she did, and she had such variety of talent, influence. She literally had it all. It can attract obsessive people, number one, obsessive men, and it can attract jealous friends who pose as your friends. And that's why it's important not to trust everyone in your life. So here's some more pictures. You can just see she was really living a lavish life. On social media, she had a lot of people that would give her gifts. And so here's some more photos. They would give her gifts and different things like that. So she received so much attention online. Well, there was also some other concerns about the people she was affiliated with. So let's go over that a little bit more detail. Let's see. So she had this friend, and her friend's name was Vivian de la Torres. I wonder if I can find that. I have an article actually that talks about some of the people she was around. Oh, it's actually in Spanish. I wish English. See if we could try to get this one in English here. I'll show you a picture of Vivian, because Vivian looks a lot like Valerie. So I feel like she was trying to kind of mimic her. So let's actually go over that article. This is not the one I want to show you. Okay, it went back. I don't know why it went back. So I'll get off of this one. Sorry, guys. Wrong article. Almost there. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so Vivian de la Torre, she was the last person that Valerie Marquez was with. And you could actually see the video of how she reacted to Valerie when Valerie passed away, when Valerie was literally murdered in front of her. And she did nothing, like she didn't scream, she didn't cry. She just had this very evil, sadistic stare. It was like a demon was in her, like she was in a trance. And she picked up the video with this anger on her face and just turned the camera off. So you can look at these pictures. This is Vivian. And if you look at Vivian and you kind of look at them side by side, you can see that Vivian looks a lot like Valerie. I almost mistook this picture to be Valerie, and it's not. It's actually her friend, Vivian. And if you look at a lot of the videos between these two, which we'll go into those, it seemed as though Vivian was trying so hard to be like Valerie. It was like she was living in the shadow of Valerie's success, of Valerie's galore, of Valerie's fame. And it was almost like she wanted to become her in a very disturbing way. And so a lot of people speculated that she may have had something to do with her murder. Now, Valerie wasn't so innocent. Valerie was involved with a lot of bad people. In fact, she hung around with a man who was in the cartel, and he was the leader of the cartel. So she was around some very shady people, which ultimately led to her demise. She had a very jealous friend, as you can see here, who looks just like her pretty much. And she was dating a man who was in the cartel, who was a very dangerous man. She even admitted that she had been around a lot of dangerous people and that she was trying to, make her life better, and that she was now becoming a good girl. So she knew that she was involved in some shady stuff, and she pretty much was trying to change her life around. But this lady, Vivian, in my opinion, sought an opportunity to take this girl out when basically Valerie's ex-boyfriend, David Rodriguez, he basically had a vendetta against our beautiful Valerie here because Valerie had left him. Basically, he had bought her all these gifts. He showered her with all these like love and very expensive, lavish lifestyle. And she ended up starting to date someone much younger. And David Rodriguez wasn't having it. He had this fatal obsession about her. And basically, in his mind, he's thinking, if I can't have you, no one can. And Vivian saw this as an opportunity for Valerie to be gone, and she can now rise above as the new Valerie and to step into her place. Now, just to give you a disclaimer, this is all allegations and speculation, but a lot of people are speculating that this is what they believe happened and what is going on in in this situation. But the murder of Valerie Marquez, an influencer based in Zapan, Jalisco, evidence on TikTok, the violence that persists in different areas of the state. According to preliminary information, around 6:30 p.m. on May 13th, an armed man entered the Blossom Beauty Lounge located in Real de Carmen neighborhood and shot at least 10 times at the young woman. The point-blank shots hit the chest and head of the digital creator, who was making a live broadcast. Through a statement, the Jalisco State Prosecutor's Office reported that it opened investigation folder under the femicide protocol. And that's what they do a lot in Mexico is if a woman's unalived by a man, then they will charge it as a femicide, meaning a crime or someone unalived just because they are a woman. So that is a actual labeled crime in Mexico because there's been a lot of crimes that have been directed at women in Mexico. And so they have created this crime that basically is called femicide because a woman is unalived simply because of her gender. Well, less than 24 hours after the crime, people close to Valerie Marquez condemned what happened and demanded that the authorities not go unpunished. Among many expressions of condolences on social media networks, the publication of also influencer Vivian de la Torres, who wrote a message on Instagram in memory of her, stood out. So people started to question Vivian. Valerie Marquez mentioned de la Torres during her last broadcast. She indicated that the two would see each other that day at the request of Vivian. Did you see that? She said, basically, Valerie said that she was there. She returned back to the salon because her best friend, quote unquote, asked her to come and begged her to come, basically. And I'll tell you why I say begged her to come. Vivian was the one that asked her not to leave the room because she would send her an expensive gift. This is very weird and shady because Valerie wanted to leave. Valerie had this weird inclination. And this is, again, you can see this is both of them side by side. This is Vivian, and this is her fake friend here. But what was shady and very suspect about this story is Valerie told Vivian that she did not want to go to the salon. She felt very uneasy about it, even while she was on TikTok. Sorry, guys, TikTok Live. She told her social media viewers that she didn't want to be at the salon. She actually wanted to leave because she felt in her intuition that someone was trying to unalive her. She felt that whoever these men were that had come to the salon earlier were trying to unalive her. Because you see, Vivian spoke to the two perpetrators hours before Valerie was at the salon. Vivian was at the salon earlier in the day, and these perpetrators came to the salon, told her that they had to give a gift personally, face-to-face to Valerie. It sounds suspect. In my opinion, what I think would have happened is they probably told Vivian that they were going to unalive Valerie, and that if she did not get Valerie to come to the salon, she would probably also be a victim. But I think Vivian really wanted to see Valerie unalive because she secretly was jealous of her, secretly wanted to be her. You can see here, they just, to me, almost look a lot alike. And there's a lot of other videos where you could see where she would even make her hair wavy like Valerie's hair. But the speculation on X, formerly Twitter, arose from an employee of Marquez, warned her that a man identified as a delivery man tried to personally deliver a package to her. So one of Valerie's employees told her that a man tried to deliver the package towards her. So it appears as though this man came and talked to the employee first and not actually Vivian. So that fact was clarified here. The alleged courier refused to leave the gift with the worker, a situation that generated concern in Valerie, guys. See, once Valeria knew that these men didn't want to give the gift to the worker, it set some alarm bells off in Valerie's mind. Valeria was like, this is wrong. Something's not right about this. Why do they not want to give it to my employee? And she didn't really feel comfortable going back to that salon that night. Jokingly, he commented that perhaps he had arrived with the intention of picking her up or unaliving her. Oh my goodness, guys, you see this? So the man that came earlier and talked to her employee said, you guys got to be very careful when people make jokes, because a lot of times they really mean what they say. That's why I really take jokes very seriously. When someone says something and they're like, oh, I'm just kidding. They're not just kidding. 9 times out of 10, they actually mean what they're saying to you. And this man who went to go visit Valeria's employee, when he was looking for Valeria the first time he came by the salon, he made a joke that he was picking her up or unaliving her, guys. That's disturbing to me. That is absolutely disturbing to me. And this red flag right here, which should have set off alarm bells for Valeria. If I were Valeria, I would not have showed up that day. I would have, locked down my salon, and I would have really been more careful. I probably wouldn't even come back to that salon. Okay. I probably would think about leaving that salon and all together, because that to me is disturbing. Very, very disturbing. It looks like the translation went back, so I have to fix it again. Sorry, guys. When you have to, when you go to these sites that are in Spanish, a lot of times it will revert back to the original language. So you have to basically go back and keep trying again. So that's basically what happened here. So let me just go back to it in its original translation, English translation here. This is crazy, guys. The fact that he said that, oh my gosh. I am absolutely speechless right now. Okay, let's see. Okay, so accusations against Vivian de la Torres. So far, the Jalisco prosecutor's office has not revealed the lines of investigation in progress. However, on social media networks, Vivian de la Torres, who is the fake friend, has been the target of multiple accusations. Valerie Marquez's murderer was her friend, Vivian de la Torres, who told her not to move and to wait because, according to her, they would bring her an expensive gift, in a phrase that has been replicated in hundreds of publications. And this is allegedly. But it's very suspicious, you guys, that her one and only close friend here was begging and pleading and trying to convince her to stay at this salon, and even trying to seduce her with gifts, saying, oh, I'm going to give you this. She even gave her like a fluffy pig gift and gave her Starbucks and all these things to convince her to stay. That's why a lot of people online are very suspicious of Vivian Marquez. Despite the scrutiny, De La Torres continues to be active on social media. She shared a photograph with Valerie Marquez in Instagram story format, accompanied by the following message. My precious Gurita, I will love you forever, my girl. I never imagined a life without you. Without a doubt, I have an angel who always takes care of me. I love you, my Barbie. That is fake. It's so fake. I would say keep that love if you have a fake person like that in your life. Her publication divided opinions. Some users considered her frivolous, while others defended her by showing videos where both influencers show closeness and mutual trust. This is disgusting. So this is her this is the Instagram photo that we saw of her, actually. This is very sad. Okay, so that was kind of like the background, but I want to actually show you some videos for yourself of them as friends, and I want to see what you guys think. What's your opinion about their friendship? Do you think their friendship is genuine, or do you think it's fake? Here's a video. This clip right here is Vivian De La Torres. This is the friend of Valerie or Valeria. So look at this video clip and see what you think about them. You'll see a couple of images of Valeria with Vivian. See it, what your opinion is about their friendship. So I had to turn the music off because it would be a copyright. But look, you can see them together. And if you look at it, they look really a lot alike. She even tries to have the blonde streaks to kind of look like her. It's like she wanted to be her in a lot of ways. So I think that's the only clip that they have of her. Let's take a look and see if there's any other clips of her on Facebook. Yeah, what do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that she is really a friend? Or do you guys think that she is being fake? Let's see. I like to go online to see if I could find some other stuff. Let's see if we can see some more videos. Vivian De La Torres with Valeria. Valeria Marquez. Let's see. They have a lot of fake videos on TikTok where a lot of people say they look a lot alike. It was as if she was trying to become and take the photo. Oh my God. And the video of her after she's unalived is so disturbing. It is so disturbing. Actually, I could show you guys the image of her after she was unalived. So if you look here on the right here where I'm circling my mouse, this is the clip of Vivian De La Torres when she picked up the camera, basically Valerie's camera, after Valerie was brutally unalived right in front of her. So she saw her friend be brutally shot by two men. And instead of, normally in that situation, when you see your best friend unalive like that, you're crying, you're in shock, you don't know what to do. Look at her face. She has such an evil stare on her face. It's so cryptic and it's so demonic that a lot of people see her as a part of this whole murder. And she was the same one that begged and pleaded for Valerie to stay at the salon when Valerie anxiously wanted to leave. She said she wanted to leave. She felt uncomfortable. And Vivian kept begging her and pleading her and giving her gifts to say, and she said, "Oh, I want to see how your reaction is when they give you this expensive gift." When in reality, she knew what was really going to happen. That's disgusting. Oh, let's see. And X actually has a pretty good video of it. So let's see if we could find that video. Right when I press play, it just like went away for some weird reason. So let's see if X has it. Okay, I think this is it right here. I'm gonna press this 32 seconds.
Hoy andaba haciendo unas cosillas.
And this right here, what I'm playing right now is the actual live. This is the actual live where she was unalived in front of her fans. So she didn't want to stay there. She's telling her fans during the live that she wants to leave. But Vivian's like, no, please stay. I want to see your reaction when you get this very expensive gift. Here's some Starbucks. Here's this pig. All these things she's giving her, like these like things to seduce her, to get her to stay. Meanwhile, Valerie, in her intuition, is telling her viewers that she feels afraid. She feels like somebody is coming there to take her life. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to your intuition. I don't care who you think is a friend or not a friend. Don't listen to people out here who pretend to be your friend, because in this situation, this girl really wanted to see her dead, in my opinion. And again, this is my speculation. I don't know what really happened, but in my opinion, I feel as though this friend Vivian was a fake friend, and she was pretending to be her friend because she really wanted to be her and take her image. And it seems as though now she's online posting regularly and doing all these weird thirst traps because now she's trying to take the place of Valerie. So let's just play this video. But again, I want to tell you what's going on. This video right here is a clip of the actual incident. So she's in her own beauty salon. Vivian is there with her, a sick, evil person. This is the video clip of Vivian and how her face looked after her own best friend was unalived in front of her.
Y me marca Erika y me dice, oye, bebé, es que te traen algo y que no sé qué, pero pues que te lo quieren entregar a ti. Y yo, pues más o menos llego como en 1 hora. Y ya dijeron de que, no, es que mejor me espero a que llegue ella porque es muy costoso. A mí que me va a andar regalando algo. Oigan, ¿qué creen?
And unfortunately, guys, we can't play the actual part where she's shot because YouTube would have a fit. So that actually, if you want to see the full video, you could see that on Facebook because they have the full disturbing video. I don't recommend watching it because it's very disturbing to see her taken out like that. But after it happened, you could see her facial expression, the expression of her friend. It's very odd. And I'll show you one more time before we go on to Facebook real quick and then go on to the final video. But just look at her face. She basically, in this clip right here, this is after Valerie was brutally unalived. Valerie's brutally shot in the head and in the chest in front of her so-called fake best friend. And this is the facial expression we get. She goes to Valerie's phone where she's videotaping the live, and this is her face. You didn't hear her scream at all during the shooting. She wasn't crying, seeing her friend be unalived in front of her. She just goes to the camera right here, and she looks completely angered with this look of just, oh my God, demonic anger on her face. Like almost to the point of like anger at Valerie, even though Valerie was the one unalived. And she's going here to turn off the camera. But this video, this clip right here, this image of her after her friend is unalived in front of her is so disturbing. It sent shockwaves throughout social media. I mean, everybody all over the world was disturbed by her. Just disturbed by her. Nobody really, people started to think that she was involved because it's like, this is not normal. If you see your own friend being shot in front of you, wouldn't you, scream, cry, do something in reaction? And this is her face. It's disturbing. It's not even normal. It's not a normal human reaction. Not even one scream. It's like she had been waiting for this moment. And she set her friend up, because why do you beg your friend to stay somewhere and your friend gets unalived, even if she didn't know, you would think she'd be crying and screaming, but she didn't even do that. But here again, this is another clip of Valeria before it happened. This is what she was wearing. She was on live with her TikTok viewers, and they all saw it happen in front of them. It's still disturbing. But let's just see it right before she died.
Güey, a lo mejor me iban a matar, güey.
No, a decir un regalo, pero no sabía que no era como tan fuerte. Y
Un regalo costoso.
Y aparte,
En una hora regreso. ¿Y en qué venía? ¿En moto?
no sé si
Me iban a levantar. Ok.
Okay, we're going to need somebody who translates because I do not know Spanish. So if you are in the chat and you can translate what she just said. But she said muerto. Muerto means death. Did she say that or did I mishear her? But it sounded like she said muerto. But here you can see in this photo, this was the pig, the stuffed animal pig. Well, actually, let's see if I can find it somewhere else. That's what she was wearing the day she, oh gosh, sorry guys, that was actually the video. It's disturbing, but here is the toy pig here where that was given to her by the fake friend before she died to get her to stay at her salon when she was trying to leave.
Costoso adentro, que por eso no lo, o sea, querían que yo.
This is cool because this video is actually going to translate what she is saying. So you got to read the captions, but this is actually her. And if you see in her hand, she's holding that stuffed animal pig that her fake friend Vivian gave to her to try to convince her to stay. That is very suspect. So let's take a look and see what she said before she was unalived in this very clip here at her salon.
Güey, no sé. O sea, me dice Erika que era una caja, no, una bolsa de regalo negra con estrellitas y que tenía algo muy costoso. No, una bolsa de regalo negra con estrellitas y que tenía algo muy costoso adentro, que por eso no lo, o sea, querían que yo lo recibiera y que me tomaran una foto con el regalo. Pero es que no me pasa nadie por la cabeza, güey. ¿Parecía repartidor o escolta?
No, repartidor.
¿Repartidor?
Sí.
Me iban a matar, güey.
No, a decir un regalo, pero no sabía que no era como.
Oh my God, guys, that translation is so scary and disturbing. I don't know about you, but I just got this weird inkling in my gut. If you read the translation, you could see in her face and what she's saying, she looked very concerned. First, she was describing the gift. She said that her employee, whose name is Erica, said that these two men came by with this black bag that has stars on it. And she said that they looked like delivery men that basically said they were trying to deliver to her an expensive gift. And they wanted to take a photograph of her receiving this expensive gift. And she asked Erica, because I guess Erica's there. And she asked Erica, she said, did these people look like delivery guys? And Erica said, no. Then you could see in her face, I'm going to play this again so you can study everything and look at the captions again. But then Valerie thinks a little bit. You can see her face like she's like, this doesn't sound right. Just by looking at her face, she gives this stare like as if that doesn't sound right. This doesn't feel right. It doesn't sound right. And then she says, did they come to kill me? So she knew something was up. Of course, the employee Erica's like, no, they were just trying to give you a gift. But no, Valerie knew something was up and something wasn't right. Her intuition was telling her, but she didn't listen. And this is an important lesson to all of you that when you get a weird vibe, if you feel something's wrong and something doesn't feel right, listen to your intuition. Don't doubt yourself. But we're going to play this again because this is a very good clip of, her and her thought process before she was tragically unalived.
Güey, no sé. O sea, me dice Erika que era una caja, no, una bolsa de regalo negra con estrellitas y que tenía algo muy costoso adentro, que por eso no lo, o sea, querían que yo lo recibiera y que me tomaran una foto con el regalo. Pero es que no me pasa a nadie por la cabeza, güey.
That right there gave me the chills. First of all, let's look at the symbolic color of the item. It was a black box or bag. Black usually can symbolize a color of death, morbidity, something very depressed, dark. The fact that it was in a black bag or box is disturbing right off the bat. Then you can see her stop and pause and think. She said to herself, I can't think of anyone who would want to give her a gift. So that to her automatically started sending off alarm bells because number one, by this time, she had already broken up with her boyfriend, David Rodriguez, who was in the drug cartel. That man was in some dangerous stuff. He used to lavish her with all these gifts, but she had already broken up with him. So she was thinking to herself, I can't think of anyone who would come to my salon with a gift. And then the weirdness of the color of the gift. I mean, usually a black bag, black box, that doesn't sound right as a gift. Usually when someone gives you a gift, they're going to give you vibrant, bright colors. It kind of exudes something of happiness, joy, positivity. But the fact that it's in a black box sounds very disturbing to me, even off the bat. But even how she paused for a while and thought about it. And then she said to herself, but I can't think of anyone. That right there sent chills down my spine. I don't know about you, but I feel like at this moment, Valerie started to think something was wrong and someone was trying to set her up. So let's keep watching.
¿Parecía repartidor o escolta?
No,
¿Repartidor?
Sí.
Me iban a matar, güey.
No, era a decir un regalo, pero no sabía qué.
See how she said it off the bat? Maybe they tried to kill me. And then if you recall, we just read an article where the men who came to deliver this gift to the employee, basically to Valerie, they said, oh, we're going to pick her up or kill her. So Valerie already is starting to feel something's up. But then the employee is trying to convince her otherwise, that no, it's just a person trying to deliver a gift. But again, if someone tries to shoot down your inclination, don't listen to them because something is not right.
Un regalo costoso.
Y aparte,
güey, me quedé preocupada. Que porque dice que no se le veía la cara.
And she's on TikTok talking about this before she shot brutally. But notice how she said Erica, who's the employee, did not see the man's face. That's another red flag. So we got a couple of red flags here. We got the black gift, the color symbolizing death, gloom, darkness, evilness. Then we got the man's comment saying that he's going to pick her up or unalive her. Then we have Valerie looking very concerned in the face, saying maybe he came to kill her. She couldn't think of anyone who would come to her salon to give her this gift. Now, one of the most concerning inclinations we see here is that the employee never saw the man's face. That is disturbing to me. I'm starting to think this employee is involved in this too, not just Vivian. But Erica seems like she's involved in this too, because why is she so adamant to defend these men she doesn't know? And then she claims to not have seen these men's face. That's a red flag. How is it this man is coming to deliver an expensive gift, but yet no one sees his face? Is he covering his face? Because if he's covering his face, you have to ask, why is he covering his face? There would be no need to unless you're trying to hide your identity because you know you're going to be involved in some very suspect criminal activity. That can be one scenario. The other scenario I would say is Erica did see his face, but she knew about this plot to unalive Valeria. And so she did not want to describe what the man looked like. She wanted to pretend as though she didn't see this face because she didn't want to implicate the perpetrator. which in my opinion shows that Erica is possibly involved in this plot to unalive Valerie as well. It seems as though Valeria had a lot of jealous people around her.
Y que dijo, en una hora regreso. ¿Y en qué venía? ¿En moto? Me iban a levantar. Ok.
Oh my God. And then she's smiling and joking but she says they were going to kill me. That's absolutely disturbing. Can you believe it? She knew. Again, a red flag of, they're riding on this motorcycle. That's weird. If he's a delivery man, have you ever heard of a delivery man coming on a motorcycle, hiding his identity with a black box or bag? That is sounding like a murderer. She already is saying this man is trying to kill her. And she's smiling and joking about it, but really deep inside, she honestly feels it's true. Because again, by this time, she had already broken up with a very dangerous man named David Rodriguez. He was in the drug cartel. And the man was very jealous about her. And he had spent a load of money on this girl. Gifts, taking her to lavish flights, very expensive, exquisite dinners, vacations. And he felt like he had lost his investment when she broke up with him and was dating a much younger man. So I think she was onto something. Look at this. This gives me chills that she literally said, they were going to kill me. This is the second time in this video that she has already said that she feels that these men are trying to kill her. And that's disturbing to me because at this time she had the moment to get up and leave and run away. But she ignored her intuition. And this is what makes it more disturbing here. So if you read that clip right there, they're saying that after this clip, because now Valeria is on to something. She feels like somebody's about to unalive her. Something doesn't feel right to her. It feels really suspect. So she wants to leave. But I told you that fake friend, Vivian, starts sending Valeria gifts to convince her to stay. That to me is very weird. Valeria has already said on live she feels twice that she felt like these men are trying to kill her. If you're really a true friend and your friend is saying this and you know that your friend has previously dated a drug cartel, would you really try to convince her to stay after hearing all those suspect facts about what was going on? The black gift, this guy hiding his identity, riding off with a motorcycle and then claiming he has to see her face to face. And it sounds really suspect. And then your friend saying she feels like they're trying to kill her. Would you, as a good friend, tell your friend to stay there and try to give her gifts to convince her to stay? That's disturbing. So during this time, Vivian, the fake friend that we already talked about before, starts sending over Valerie these gifts. And one of the gifts was Starbucks. The other gift was that stuffed pig, the pink pig that you've seen in the clip earlier.
Güey, Vivian, mejor dime que te gustó.
That's sick. And then all this time you heard those little bing, bing. That was the fake friend text messaging her. This is so suspect. That's why the evidence is piling up that Vivian knew the whole time because she's texting her obsessively. She's paying for these Starbucks and little pigs, like stuffed animals. It's just really weird. It's like, why is she doing all of this, to convince her to stay after Valeria has already said she feels like something's not right about this whole expensive gift? It feels like Vivian knew the whole time and was in on it. And as if in my opinion, I feel like, what if the paid hitman is actually Vivian who paid for her to be unalived? What if it's not even the drug cartel man? What if it's actually Vivian who paid these hitmen to come and unalive her? Because Vivian knew so much about Valeria. Valeria had been receiving all kinds of gifts from her social media friends before this had happened. So first it was David. He was flooding her with all these gifts. Then after that happened, Valeria started receiving all kinds of gifts from social media people. Like on TikTok, they would send her gifts, and other people who were fans of hers. So Vivian knew the perfect plot to plan this girl's murder. And what would it be more of? Of some person coming and giving her an expensive gift, because Valeria is used to receiving expensive gifts. And who would know this more than her own best friend? It's starting to sound a little bit like to me, and let me know what you guys think your theory is of this case. But it sounds like me like the friend Vivian is the perpetrator and probably was the one that paid for this hit. It sounded really suspect to me. It sounds like Vivian wanted to take the place of Miss Valeria, because this don't sound right to me.
Hola, buenas tardes. ¡Es un cochinillo! Güey, la Viviana está enamorada de mí, te lo juro.
Did you hear that comment from Valeria? She said, Vivian must be in love with me or something. Again, that's a disturbing comment. A lot of people overlook the red flags. If you have a friend that is so obsessed and in love with you, like Vivian was so obsessed and so in love with Valerie that she wanted to become Valeria. She looked like Valeria. She dressed like Valeria. She did her hair like Valeria. She wore clothes and lipstick. She wanted to become her. And it's just really weird that, okay, this is not Valeria's birthday. There's no special occasion. There's really no reason to bribe this girl with all these gifts. It sounds like she was trying to convince Valeria to stay over there because she wanted the ultimate gift to be her life. Valeria's life. That is so sad, y'all. Let's keep going. This is disturbing, disturbing, disturbing.
¡Mi vida! ¡Es un pendejillo! Huele a culo, pero te la paso.
That is so sad. If you guys read that, they said she had no idea that would be the last thing she ever held. That is so sad, you guys. Yes, Tracy. That's exactly what I was thinking, girl. I was about to say that. I was just about to compare it to Selena. It does remind me of Selena, doesn't it? Remember, Selena had that obsessive lady who wanted to work for her and all this stuff. And then when Selena was about to fire her because she was basically exploiting all her money and spending all her money and taking her fans' money and all this stuff and misusing the money, all of a sudden she couldn't live without Selena, so she unalived her. This sounds just like Selena's story. You're right, Tracy. Oh my gosh, y'all. Yes, it does. If you compare, it sounds like the Selena story. Is very, yeah, Tracy did have her own boutique and everything. Yeah, just like Valeria. This is like, you're right. This is like an identical story of the Selena story. That is, you really can't compare it to that. I was just about to say that too, and she caught on. So that is sad.
Yo creo que ya me voy a ir. Porque ya me hundí.
Look at that. Did you guys just read that? I don't know if you read it, but I'm going to go back again. But she said right there, she said, I think I'm going to leave because I'm feeling scared. Again, that was her intuition telling her to get the F out of Dodge. Somebody's trying to unalive you. But she had this fake friend. You heard that little bing. Her friend text her again, trying to get her to stay there. Why was Vivian so gung-ho on getting and keeping her friend Valerie at that salon? It sounds like to me Vivian is the one that set this whole thing up.
Huele a culo, pero te la paso. Yo creo que ya me voy a ir. Porque ya me hundí. ¿Ya te lo dieron? Pues no han llegado. Y la verdad no los voy a esperar. Ya me voy.
She says so many times by then, the fans are like, did you get your gift yet? She says, no, but I think I'm going to leave. I'm not going to wait. I'm scared. Like she really was feeling that intuition that something was wrong. That was really what her intuition was telling her, that this was a setup. And exactly what she felt came to pass. And it sat in front of her fans. They had to see this. So here at this point, she's actually about to leave, but then Vivian begs her to stay once more.
Después mañana no creo que les grabe live, entonces va a ser otro día. Ah, que me espere, dice la Vivian, que porque quiere ver mi cara.
Look how disturbing this is. Vivian sent Valeria 5 text messages all at once, begging, right when Valeria was about to leave. Valeria's like, about to close her live. She's like, bye, giving them kisses and everything. Vivian's watching this, right? So she sends Valeria 5 text messages in a freaking row, telling her not to leave. She wants to see her face when she receives the ultimate gift. Guys, this is sounding more and more suspect, like Vivian is involved. Because why is she saying, oh, I want to see your face. I want to see when you get this gift. It's really weird. And then you send your friend 5 obsessive text messages in a row. That don't sound right. Absolutely weird.
Rápido, pendeja, que me tengo que ir. Viene.
No, sí.
Hola.
¿Vale?
Sí.
Now, this is the part where the shooting actually happened, so I can't keep playing right here. But when she's saying, hola, sí, that's when the perpetrators come into the building, into her salon, okay? And this is when, again, Vivian convinces Valerie to keep waiting for the gift, and she says she wanted to see her face. Very cryptic, right? Right here when she says, hola, sí, this is the perpetrators. They walk into the salon and they say, hi, are you Valeria? And she says, yes. She goes to mute the video, and that is when she is shot in her head and in her chest, and she collapses. I can't play that part, guys, because you already know Facebook is going, not Facebook, but YouTube is going to have a fit. Okay. So it's so sad that she had a fake friend in her life. And this is the fake friend that goes to turn off the video clip after she is brutally unalived. This facial expression here doesn't even make sense to me, because it's like you just seen your friend get brutally unalived and you just look like you were in on it. Look at her face. There's no tears. There's no crying. I feel like even her employee, I feel like all of them were in on this murder. Like you just seen somebody get shot in front of you, and instead you're looking like you're one of the culprits involved. So disturbing. So she goes to Valeria's video as it's recording on live, and she calmly turns off the live after Valeria was shot 3 times. She didn't show any signs of being worried or scared or in shock of her friend being murdered in front of her. And then you have to ask yourself also, why didn't they unalive this lady too? Because she's a witness. It just sounds really weird. It sounds like they were involved. You can even see here, they look almost like twins to me. Like even from the figure to the height to everything, they just look like twins to me. here you can see here a former Congressman Luis Armando Cordova. He was also unalived inside a Starbucks in Zopan just hours before Valeria was attacked. So hours earlier, Valeria had received a Starbucks gift as coffee as a gift. So it was kind of like a coincidence. He was unalived as well here hours before. So people were wondering if those two crimes were associated, but it turns out not. It wasn't the case. Now in Mexico, a lot of times when there is a suspect, they usually cover the face. So this man here is the suspect involved. I don't think he's actually the one who knew Valeria personally, but he was paid to unalive her. But a lot of times in Mexico, what they do when there's a suspect is they cover their eyes. That is a normal thing that they do when they have a suspect, is they cover their eyes to protect their identity. So that's a little different how they do that before a person's convicted of a crime. They're of course considered innocent in Mexico, and so they don't show their identity until they're actually convicted. So a little different. And this is so sad, guys, what she had done. But look, this is what I wanted to show you guys. This is Vivian right here. Can you guys see this? This picture is Vivian on the left side, and this is Valeria. Notice how identical they look. This is so suspect. This right here, what makes me really suspicious. Vivian wanted to be Valeria so bad. Look, she dyed her hair blonde. She got her hair wavy like Valeria. She even is wearing literally the same style type outfit as Valeria. You see how it's cut here, just the same way, cut here with the same type of design, just different colors. She's trying to be as spitting. Even the lipstick is the same. The eyebrows was the same. Everything. She literally wanted to be Valeria. She was so jealous and so insecure of this wonderful, beautiful woman, Valeria, that she wanted to outshine her friend. So that's why you have to be careful. And this is the same girl who was begging and pleading, sending her the Starbucks, the pig, stuffed animal, and all these things to convince Valeria to stay because she wanted to see her unalived. But I really wonder now if Vivian was the one that paid these men to unalive her. I really wonder and ask that question because to me, it sounds very suspect to me. Okay, it doesn't sound right. It does not. And again, she was around. The cold-blooded killer hasn't been yet identified, but Dennis Rodriguez, a spokesperson of the Jalisco State Prosecutor's Office said the masked man pretending to be a delivery driver arrived at the salon hours before the attack. Okay. And the man was accompanied by a second individual and told the woman at the salon that they had to see Marquez to give her the expensive gift that we were talking about. It just sounds though like this girl here, she looks too much like Valeria. Way too much like her. And a man named Dobel Rodriguez is suspected in Marquez's death, with a local reporting that the two dated. So I was telling you guys about that Dobel R guy. Dobel. I said his name was David, but his real name is Dobel. Dobel R, and he's a leader in drug cartel. And he was jealous because she basically broke up with him. But that is basically an opportunity here for Vivian to take over Valeria's position. That's what it was all about. This woman looks like her identical twin to me. The hair, everything. The outfit is very suspicious. So if you have a friend like this who wants to look like you and literally be your clone, I would not want to be that person's friend because that person is suspect. Let's see what other pictures they have. It's very sad. You see how they posted this with her last thing that she held from her own friend who gave her this fake stuffed animal here to seduce her and convince her to stay. That's so sad. This fake friend. Who needs friends when you got a friend like this? That is sick, y'all. So I wanted to draw your attention now to the man involved in this whole thing, the man that she was dating. Okay. So Jalisco cartel leader El Dobel R, his name named prime suspect in the murder of the TikTok influencer Valeria Marquez. So he is the suspect because he had been dating her. So let's look more into him. A man known as El Double R or El Tripa is believed to be the prime suspect in the killing of Valeria, a 23-year-old beauty influencer who was shot and killed May 13th while live streaming on TikTok from her beauty salon. Authorities have identified the suspect as Ricardo Ruiz Valesquez, believed to be a high-ranking member of the cartel Jalisco Nueva Generacion, operating in the city of Zapopan. That name is a tongue twister, y'all. Sources close to the investigation told Mexican outlet that Ruiz Valesco had been in a romantic relationship with Marquez for several months and believe he frequently became angry over the expensive gifts Marquez received from her followers. You see that? And notice how in the plot of her death, there was an allegation that she was going to receive an expensive gift. Notice that? The very thing that he was angry about her receiving, and I'm pretty sure Vivian was also jealous about her receiving, was the very thing that they used to convince her to stay at the salon, an expensive gift. So again, he became frequently angry over the expensive gifts Marquez received from her followers. Hours prior to the attack, Marquez posted a video showing off a luxurious gift she received, which investigators suspect may have been a motive to the murder. Jalisco state prosecutors confirmed that the official witness statement, as well as contents from Marquez's social media, are being reviewed as part of the ongoing investigation. And they're already going over the same thing. They just say that a man posing as a delivery driver entered the premises, opened fire after confirming her identity. And again, I showed you in the video where she is looking at someone and she says, "C." C means yes, because someone was asking if she was Valeria Marquez, and she said C. She was like, "Yes, I am." After they confirmed who she was, that's when they shot and killed her, basically. Marquez was struck twice, once in the chest and once in the head, and was reported dead at the scene by authorities. Authorities are treating the case as a femicide. But let's look at who is Ricardo Ruiz Valesco, because this is the prime suspect that they say. But again, I feel like Vivian was a part of it too. I feel like she was the one that convinced Valerie to stay. So she knew about this murder and she was just as guilty as this guy Ricardo is suspected of being. But as reported by Milenio, I cannot say these words, guys. They're all in Spanish. Milenio Ruiz Valesco has a documented history of alleged involvement in a high-profile violent crimes. In 2012, authorities linked him to the murder of Daisy Ferrar Arenas, a Venezuelan national whose body was discovered in a sewage canal in Guadalajara. Her killing was a part of a broader investigation into a series of murders involving Venezuelan and Colombian models who worked as now defunct Badida's bar. So it looks like this man has a career of killing women. Like, he's disgusting. He doesn't even step to men. It seems like he just kills women. He's disgusting, man. Ruiz Valesco is said to lead a CJNG special forces unit known as Grupo Elite, which was reportedly formed to combat the rival Santa Rosa del Lima cartel in state of Guanajuato. In 2020, then Mexican Secretary of Defense Luis Crescencio Salvador Gonzalez, all these Spanish names, y'all, they got me tongue-tied over here, announced that Grupo Elite was behind a deadly ambush on police in Villagran, which left 3 officers dead, another injured, and 4 individuals kidnapped. Oh my God, so he killed 3 officers too? I'm already counting, he killed at least 5 people. Like, he's still free? What's going on with Mexico? Like, they just letting these people out when they unalive people? Like, seriously. Ruiz Valesco was also implicated in the December 2017 killing of Juan Luis Lagunas, known online as Paratas de Culicican. Authorities believe the murder was retaliation from Laguna's insults towards CJN leader I'm not saying these Spanish names. Y'all gonna have to read that part. Lagunas was gunned down inside a bar near the border of Zapatan. Oh my goodness, guys. This man is a serial killer. He has literally unalived so many people, and he was still free. It's like in Mexico, they just be letting these people go for some of the most serious crimes, and it's probably why this young lady was unalived. So her boyfriend was very jealous. He was very enraged. And he took her out because of that. It's just very sad. Exactly, Tracy. Her friend did not have an identity of her own. And you can see that very clear from this picture, is that she literally wanted to be Valeria. Like, I can't even really tell them apart. The only thing I can tell apart is the outfit because of the color, but the design is exactly the same. Her hair is the same. The makeup is the same. It's just disturbing. Even she has her little hip pointed out like Valeria has her hip pointed out. It's like she trying to pose like the girl too. It's like sick. Right, Christina. Hi, Christina. Christina's like, yeah, just looking dumb in the camera setup. It does look like a straight up setup. So Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube had a pretty good clip on this from Entertainment. So we're going to take a quick look at that just to see what they had to say about it. All right.
Valeria Marquez, a beauty influencer in Mexico, shot dead while streaming live on TikTok. She was just 23 years old.
Que me espere, dice la Biblia, que quiere ver mi cara.
In the disturbing footage, you can see Valeria sitting inside her salon in suburban Guadalajara, clutching a stuffed toy. She mutes the audio as the killer appears to step inside. We won't show the graphic moment, but in the seconds after she's shot, her body goes limp, blood pools on the table, and a person appears to pick up her phone, their face briefly visible, before the live stream goes dark. Earlier in the footage, a concerned Valeria tells fans someone dropped by the salon with an expensive gift for her when she wasn't there. That suspect is reportedly being sought for what's being called an act of gender-based femicide.
So I like that clip because it was a really good kind of summary of what happened in the story. This story is so sad, and it really can teach us a lot. What can we learn from this story? There's a lot we can learn. Number one, be careful of the people you surround yourself with. You really do, because the very people that you know and that you think are your friends could be the very people that can set up your demise. That could, number one, if you have a friend that's trying to dress like you, look like you, pretty much have a same image of you, that's not flattery. That's something wrong. And if I were you, I would start to distance myself from a person like that, because that's a person who doesn't know who they are inside. They don't have their own identity. And so they want to latch onto yours and they want to steal who you are because they don't have self-value in themselves. A second thing is be careful who you date, because some of those men out there or women, you know, you got to look at their background. You got to look at, you know, who they are as a person, their temperament. Are they a jealous type? How are their prior relationships? People say, oh, don't judge people on the past. But in reality, you do have to judge them from their past, because if they're not able to handle conflict, if they're not able to handle your independence from them, like you can see the red flags here. This guy was always getting jealous of her receiving expensive gifts. And the very thing that led to her death was an allegation of some expensive gift that she's going to receive. That's a red flag. It sounds like a man who is very insecure. And those type of men are the type of people who will take you out of this world. Okay. They will take you completely out because they feel like if they can't have you, no one can. Okay. So that's some of the things we can learn. And you do need to look at people's background. You need to look at their history. But look at this disturbing photo here. If I didn't tell you, you would have thought that this is the same person. They look like twins, right? But this is Vivian and this is Valeria. She literally got her hair dyed the same color the same streaks as Valeria. She even has her lip color the same as Valeria. It looks here too to look like she has some type of contacts or something going on in her eyes. She changed her eye color. She's wearing black like Valeria. It's like she wants so bad to steal the image of her friend. It's disturbing to me. Absolutely. If you just look at this picture alone has so many red flags. Not to associate with people who don't have their identity. She claims up and down that she's innocent, but my opinion is that she is just as guilty as this man who is alleged to be involved. She might have even have known and might have even talked to the cartel guy to set this whole thing up. And the suspect part of it is how she went around sending her friend all these gifts. And even what's disturbing is how Valeria said that Vivian must be in love with me or something. That's a red flag. If a friend is going out of her way to literally give you all these gifts as in a form of obsession, it screams disturbance for me. And Tricia says, just to think about it, Selena was also 23 years old when she passed. Are you kidding me? Wait, was Selena 23 when she passed? That's even more crazy how the similarities. Oh my gosh. Are you serious, Tracy? You're right. You're right. She was 23 years old. That's crazy. Guys, this story really does, like Tracy was saying, she was showing the parallels. It does remind me of Selena right here. Because look, Selena also was 23 years old when she was unalived by a fake friend, y'all. That's crazy. Just crazy, y'all. So yeah, just be careful out here. You cannot trust everyone. A lot of times when these stories happen, when we try to find out what's the cause of death in a lot of these tragedies, it's usually affiliated with somebody you know. It's either a spouse, a friend, affiliation. Somebody you know is usually the reason people are unalived. So the biggest lesson we can take from this is be careful who you associate with. Know the signs. If you got people like this in your life, I got to go back to this picture, y'all, because this picture disturbs me so much. It just disturbs me. I'm like, she looks just like her. Oh my God. Doesn't she look just like her? Well, you got people like this trying to look like you, trying to be you. And now this woman, Vivian, is going to go on and try to emulate everything that she has seen Valeria do. She's going to go on now and she's going to open up a beauty salon. She's going to be doing all the same photos that she's seen Valeria do. She's going to look at her photos and wear her hair just like she sees Valeria wear her hair because she's obsessed. A friend that's obsessed with you is not a real friend. This is a photo right here again of her fake friend, Vivian. Looks just like Valeria. The hair, the same. Makeup is very similar. She is literally obsessed. It's sick. So be careful, guys, who you call friends out there. This story really does teach us a lesson. It also reminds me of the Shanquella case. There's a lot of stories coming out of these fake people in our lives that claim to be friends, and they're really not. All right, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you are all loved and appreciated.
She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another day and she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another day and she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.